most people know there's a dark web, and then most people know there's an internet. But what most people don't know is there's also a deep web. And the dark web is where secrets get stolen and hidden and sold, right? That's where you can buy children, you can buy cocaine, and FBI is always trying to break into the dark web. The internet is where you can just type in anything you want to type in. You can start a blog, you can search on Google, you can search on DuckDuckGo, whatever you want, and you'll find the open internet. There's also something called the deep web. The deep web is the open internet that is not indexed by search engines according to federal or state laws. So inside the deep web, there's unclassified information that simply cannot be found if you do a Google search, for example. So if you Google search case files on an espionage case, you're not going to find much. It's open, unclassified information, but it's not indexed by search engines because it falls under the Department of Justice. So Department of Justice archives have it. It is publicly available. It is accessible, but you have to know how to actually go through those archives to find that information. That's the deep web. Okay. Not illegal, fully legal, but still it's where you have those sensitive, unclassified documents. Now, from unclassified, you go up to unclassified can include things like sensitive, for your eyes only, confidential, things that are not criminally liable because the classification levels have to do with damage to national security interests. If there's no damage, if there's no risk of damage to national security interests, it basically falls in that unclassified table. But it can still be sensitive, it can still be confidential, it can still be, need to know. It's just if it gets leaked, no damage, no harm done. They still want to keep it quiet, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And an example of that can be like a law enforcement operation plan where they're going to do surveillance, right? They'll put in there who's going to be participating, which cars they're using, what guns they're carrying, shit like that. Like, is it the end of the world if it got out? No, but it does display law enforcement techniques or the way they prepare, and they wouldn't want that information out there. That's why it's, fairly difficult for a private citizen, if they did a FOIA request, it'd be very difficult for you to get an operation plan. Right? I'd be surprised if you were able to get one that wasn't redacted to the T.